You're listening to the Heroes Power Hour presented by BlizzPro.com. Your hosts, Balrog fan Zexorus and DJ Tyrant. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Heroes Power Hour. This is a Heroes of the Storm podcast brought to you by BlizzPro.com. And we are here for all the Heroes of the Storm news, Blizzard's brawler, MOBA style game. If it's your first time checking us out, thank you for coming and check out. This is episode number 64. There's so much news to go through because we missed last week because of me being sick. So we'll just try to get into it, I guess. I guess I'll start off with my week in Heroes. Since I was sick, I played a whole bunch of Heroes last week. I really tried to climb up that Team League ladder, and it was semi-successful. I got to like rank 32 in Team League with a bunch of people, but that was about it as far as Heroes. I played like 20 or 30 games of Team League, so it was a lot of angst. Oh man. But yeah,
that is a lot.
Yeah, it's tough, man. But Charlie, how was your week in Heroes?
Pretty non-existent. I played today, but I was just kind of waiting for today's changes to hit. I was pretty surprised when it showed my ranking from last season, because in my Hero League ranking was 22, my highest rank achieved, but I finished at 35. So that might give you a hint of what kind of patch I hit there, and why I might have started straying away from Hero League. But yeah, I mean, I had a good time playing today. I did my first placement match and actually just like stomped with a Zagara. They gave us Zagara Leeming on Temple of the Spider Queen for some reason, and I had highest damage. I had all the creep tumors going. I was Nice. Really just doing work, so it felt good to get back into a thing and feel like I'm in kind of where I should be, I guess. Maybe I was placed a little low there, but I'm excited to see if I can get placed into silver to start. That's my hope, or at least high bronze.
I'm feeling you'll be a bit higher than that. I think you're setting yourself a little low there.
I want the bar to be low, that way if I mess up, I can be like, look, I called this. You know, I said this is where I should be.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, shout out to Arena Phoenix, too. Haven't seen her in a while, so she used to always be in the Power Hour.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Thank you for stopping by.
Amazing, cool person. Thanks for stopping by. Anyways, I'll throw it over to Zex. What about you and your weekend Heroes?
Well, the weekend I was out of town doing stuff, so I didn't really get the chance to play a lot of Heroes over the weekend, and it made the weekend that much more painful because I went on a huge Overwatch binge. So that's all I could think about when I was out there. I was like, I want to go home. Let's hurry up. But I got back into Heroes yesterday. Had a weird game with Jimmy where I was like, I'm going to play Abathur. And then we landed on Towers of Doom.
Yeah, that was an odd game.
And then we had a style win on them where we took all their keeps and ended the game like that. And I don't know how we managed to pull that off.
I don't know either. That was a really weird game. So like basically I was playing Tracer just to level up Tracer, and Zex was like, I'm going to play Abathur.
Because that always goes well when I go, I want to play this hero. Like, I'm going to play Illidan today, guys.
Or I'm going to play
I got to win on Illidan.
Yeah, that's right.
Really?
Thank you, TBK.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
I'm surprised, too. And it was always time to hunt that game.
Oh, my gosh.
Matter.
Always time.
But I could just started doing my placement matches. Me and Jimmy got about 5 in. We've gone 3 and 2. And there's you can really tell the difference that they've
opened up the MMR for you, yeah.
Yeah, they've raised the MMR uncertainty because there was a couple of guys we ended up grouping with who we queued in to the same game again. They were good players. They knew what they were trying to execute, and me and Jimmy just kind of went along with them for the ride, and went absolutely amazing. Just destroyed the other team. Second game we played with the guys, the random person was absolutely insistent on playing Jaina.
Yeah, we asked them to play Li Ming, and they were like, "Oh, I'm not really good with Li Ming." But I would have rather taken a 50% Li Ming than a Jaina in this meta right now.
I straight up told him that. I'm like, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say this in the most loving way possible that I can. I would have rather you taken a bad Li Ming.
Yeah.
And the guy actually agreed. He didn't. He's like, yeah, I'm playing like garbage. Sorry. No, just stop playing like garbage, please.
Yeah, and that's just a part of hero stuff. So yeah, we're halfway to our getting placed. So I'm excited to see how that goes. I mean, we'll talk a little bit more about that, but that was our week in games. But
if I'm not Grandmaster 1, I'm quitting Heroes.
Oh my goodness!
Give me the respect I deserve, Blizzard.
Look for Willie to quit Heroes.
Oh my gosh! It'll be the Chuck and Jimmy show in just a minute.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for those who might be curious, we generally have 4 or 5 other members on this show. Artifice is unfortunately out of commission because of computer issues. Purple is, I think, at a location where it's hard to do a broadcast from, so we're back to the original 3 for this week. And before we get into the news, there's a whole lot of news to get into. I want to have a special shout out to Stormcast and my friends over there, Mick, Another Notch, and Willie Dills. They are having episode 100 tonight, so right after this show, if you want to go check them out, they're going to have episode 100, and they have Trixler on their show tonight. So congratulations on 100 episodes of talking about Heroes of the Storm. That's incredible, guys. So congratulations. Round of applause for you guys.
Woo! Jimmy, you were on episode 20-something, right? And I was on episode 30-something.
Mm-hmm. Yay! Kitty's even applauding. Yay!
It felt so long ago.
Yeah, it does feel a long time ago. I was on one actually recently.
Oh, you were? Okay.
Yeah, I think it was the Li Ming one where we talked about Li Ming. That was interesting. But yeah, let's get into the news. We're going to start off with a bit of really sad news in that Cloud9 announced that they are disbanding their Heroes of the Storm team. This was right after the second North American Championship, where they did not qualify for Sweden for the Summer Championships, as Gale Force Esports took first place at that event, being Niantic 3-0 in the grand finals. We'll talk a bit more about that in a little bit, but Cloud9 has been a staple in Heroes of the Storm for quite a while, considering how young the game is. This is not good news for Heroes of the Storm, but what do you guys think overall this means as Heroes for its competitive scene? Like, how badly is this going to impact this?
Well, personally, I think it's got to be a bad look that the world champions are bowing out right now, and they're not even going to come back to try and defend their title. I think they did a good job in Heroes. I don't really understand the move. Obviously, I mean, they probably have their reasons, but I don't think it's so much of a reflection on Heroes as it is the management of the competitive scene sometimes, and the way that things are organized for these players. Money's also always an issue for these teams. When I heard the news, I was just kind of flabbergasted. I'm like, really? Like, they're quitting? That's happening? And now that it's kind of sunk in, it's just, I still don't think we've gotten really the whole story on this. So it's hard for me to really say, what kind of impact this is going to have. It might be known internally amongst other pro teams and even, the Blizzard development team and everything, why they're out. But I mean, it's not good.
Yeah, and I think what'll be interesting to see where the players end up, because a couple of them have definitely said that they're still going to continue playing. I know King Caffeine for sure is wanting to continue to play, and he's probably one of the top warriors, at least in NA. I mean, definitely in the conversation. Dunk Train, I'm not sure about. K1 Pro tweeted out something that was kind of alluded to him going back to school. And I'm not really sure about the rest of the roster, but it's really crazy to see them come from crushing BlizzCon less than a year ago, and they're just like, well, we didn't qualify for summer regionals, so we're done. It's definitely surprising, and I feel like the plug was pulled a little quickly for them, but obviously there might be stuff behind the scenes. And it's just interesting because they have the mount in game and they're not even a team anymore. I don't know why I find that kind of funny, but it's just a little bit funny. Zex, I know you probably have a lot to say about this, especially with in regards to a certain other MOBA.
Yeah, no. See, what worries me is about Cloud9, the organization, not about HOTS. They've disbanded 2 teams, to my knowledge, just completely, and that's their Dota team and now their HOTS team. And I'm not really up on any other disciplines that they're involved in, like CS:GO or like Smite or anything like that. So, like, seeing them permanently disband out of 2 different MOBAs kind of worries me about the C9 organization itself more than anything else. I'm not worried about HOTS in general. I think the competitive scene's fine. I have a lot of ideas that I would like to talk about at some point about what Blizzard could potentially do. But Charlie, you had a question?
Oh, do you think it's something that's indicative of the fact that 2 MOBA teams have disbanded? Like, is it the genre of the game that's causing this disband in Cloud9, or do you think there's something else?
No, I don't. The short answer, no. I think it's something else, because they have a lot of money put into their LOL team, and their Dota team famously flamed out. They started off strong, and there was a lot of hopes for that team, and then some roster shifts didn't pan out, and they just kind of threw the towel in at that point with their Dota 2 team. But with the HOTS team, this one seemed a little rushed, and I think what it was that the team, I think the HOTS team, despite their early success, their overwhelming success, HOTS isn't pulling what Cloud9 thought it would.
Like money-wise or number-wise?
Both. Like,
yeah, they kind of correlate.
The scene is fine in my opinion. Like, there's nothing wrong with the competitive scene. I still have my complaints about not enough support heroes, not enough bans in the banning phases, stuff like that. But by and large, the scene is very competitive. Like, despite what, the interview with MVP Black, and well, we might not be playing HOTS next year. Okay, fine. So, well, Tempest just wiped the floor with you, so. Whatever.
I did want to correct something I said, though. I misspoke. It is iDream who is going back to school, not K1 Pro. K1 Pro, I imagine, is probably going to still play. The biggest loser in all of this, I feel like, is Caterpillar, because he just left Brainpower to join Cloud9 like a month ago, and he's just getting disbanded now. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but yeah, there obviously is a lot behind the scenes, and kind of even tangentially to this, 2 other people in the Heroes community kind of announced they're stepping back or limiting their time in Heroes, and that was Solid Jake and Zoya. I don't know if you guys had read that at all. Zoya is going to be completely stepping back from like a public role in Heroes of the Storm, and Jake is transitioning over to Overwatch. And I totally understand where Jake is coming from, because there's not enough money in Heroes for a content creator right now. It's really difficult in Overwatch. I mean, if your job is to content create, Overwatch right now is the hot stuff, and that's where you're going to get some money right now. And I hope he's successful there. But I do also hope to see him again in Heroes in the future, just because I think he really helped build it from the ground up. Him and Kubi, who I also miss from the Heroes community. But I mean, there's a lot of obviously new talent coming up as well. Jay Howe is doing a really great job out in DreamHack right now, and it's just, esports is always going to be transitioning like this. There's going to be people getting in and out like that. So I don't think the Cloud9 thing is too bad, but I guess we'll just have to see in the future. All right.
Well, Navi disbanded as well.
That's right.
So, I mean, that's two teams that just said we're out. I mean, they don't even have a League of Legends team, and their Dota team's on the rise again. I mean, they had a stronger showing than what anybody thought they were going to have at the Manila Major just, a few days ago. So, like, I don't blame teams on getting out of the number 3 MOBA. Like, you could argue Smite and Heroes, but I say Heroes is number 3 in my opinion. But, like, there's just more exposure in those other 2 right now,
Well, there's this stigma that I don't understand, that Heroes is kind of like, the noob MOBA game, like, and I don't understand that, because you need the entire team firing on all cylinders, and one simple mistake or one slight mispositioning can cost you a whole game. And the team fights come fast, they come furious. It's a lot more, like, to me, it's a much more rewarding experience to watch on stream. So I've never really understood why the numbers aren't there. I've tried watching League and Smite things, and all I can really ever do is watch League and Dota and Smite things, and all I can really do is watch highlights of this stuff, because the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes of these games are just boring. Like, and sometimes a Heroes game can be over in that time. There have been so many fights and trades and skirmishes. Like, we're moving on to game 2 while they're just trying to finally exit the lane/farm phase. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand that. I never will. I don't understand the stigma that Heroes is just such an easy game to play and anyone can do it. Therefore, what's the point of watching it? Because I get that a lot from people who watch League and Dota, and I just don't think it's true. They're different games. They play differently.
They do, and I'm with you on this. I don't you have to, in a way, the Heroes has a much higher skill cap than League or Dota, because you don't have that fallback of, is my carry farmed enough? You can't fall back on that one person to turn a team fight. You have to rely on everybody on your team in order to win team fights.
Yeah. To me, that's more exciting. I don't know. I guess it's kind of like, I don't know, team sport versus the individual. I'm surprised that this isn't doing better overseas as well.
Just remember, there is no I in team, but there is in win.
But anyways, I think we'll transition to a bit more positive news, as a pretty big significant patch hit today, and we kind of alluded a bit to it. It's the new ranking system for Hero League and Team League got released. Medivh is live as well. The clock is permanently in the game, which is like the greatest addition to the game ever. Unranked draft is in the game, as well as Tyrael changes that look to really kind of buff Tyrael quite a bit. I mean, this is kind of open-ended. I just want to know what you guys think of the ranking system so far. I know none of us have gotten placed yet. It's still day 1, but what do you think so far? Do you think this is going to be really good for the game? I know we've talked a lot about this before, but What do you think about this patch? I guess basically is it Charlie?
Well, the major thing I'm really excited for is the unranked draft mode. Everything else, it's been needed, especially with the obviously the placement matches, the better ranking system, and all that. But the problem is, a lot of the times I play with between 3 and 4 people. That seems to be where my number is, and that relegates you to quick match. And quick match was becoming such a pain in the neck to like enjoy most of the time that I had a hard time wanting to play this game anymore, because I felt like a lot of the times I'd get into a quick match and I'd be like, oh, I picked this hero because I like playing them and they're pretty good, and that's a map that they're terrible on. Oh, look, they got 4 of the best people for this map. That's great. Our healer is Solotron. They get a Rhaegar. Awesome. Just stuff like that would constantly happen in quick match. Now with a draft mode, if you're playing with like 3 or 4 people, you can build a strategy around the map you're going to be in, and you can pick the right heroes, and you can actually have fun playing with your friends when you're not rolling, a full 5 or just you and another person. So I think that's going to be the best change possible for this game to be played casually. There's also a pretty big bug fix that the frame rate, the stability of the frame rate in all game modes, I think that's pretty important, because there are a lot of times where heroes would just kind of like, it would feel like you were going along fine, then all of a sudden like everything was skipping, and then you'd be caught up to a certain point. And it wasn't always lag, like it was just...
No, I had that all the time before I upgraded my processor. But you shouldn't have to upgrade your processor to the latest and greatest to be able to play heroes. Like, it's a relatively older engine, and I don't know. Just Blizzard games in general, I think, are very, very CPU intensive, and hopefully this will help the stutter problems that have been kind of prevalent since like alpha, basically. But yeah, any improvements to performance of the game is always welcome. One other thing I didn't note, but Lunara price got dropped to $8.50 or 7,000 gold. So if you don't have Lunara, you can go spend that gold you guys got from the preseason stuff.
And honestly, with Lunara, she is probably in the best place she's ever been right now, as like your 3rd or 4th pick. She can really surprise it to enemy team that goes too squishy. Especially with her jumping around and her poisoned, and I think Lunara is probably one of the best heroes to have on your rotation. That's more of an auto attacker. She has her skills, but her primary strength is getting those skills to set up her big auto attacks. And what she does for a team most of the time is pretty much well suited for any comp. She can play poke, she can play dive, she can play. She can play slow-moving team ganks. She can do a lot of things very well. So the fact that she's a little bit discounted, if you haven't picked her up and played her, I highly recommend it. We haven't gotten to Willie yet, though, so what are you thinking, man?
I think the rank changes are going to be good. It's kind of going to give players a less... reason. Well, they're still going to complain, but like the quote MMR hell is going to be less of an argument than it normally will, because you're classified now. It's not just general rank. You're here, so you have a general idea of how much more closer you are than any other 2%. So, but I like it. I'm curious to see where I land. Like I said, Grandmaster Wonder Riot. But like the change that I'm most interested in right now is Medivh.
Yeah, I don't know if we've really talked too much excuse me.
Good.
About him on the show. But we did play a bit with Medivh in the PTR, Zex and myself, when I was sick, because I was at home. I had nothing better to do. But we, what was the first thing we did? We tried, the Haka pull, and it does work as long as there's line of sight between the 2 portals. So you can't pull someone through a wall.
Yeah,
with
no.
that.
What the interaction is this? Like Dahaka pulls somebody through a portal, and the tongue snaps back to the length it should be. So, like he pops out the other side, and the other person gets dragged that additional distance. So, which is why it doesn't work over walls.
Mm-hmm.
So it can't pull it. That tongue can't snap back through a wall. So. That was an interesting one, and the other one was we were just goofing around with
Yeah, Twilight Dream and Malfurion.
Yeah, Malfurion bombs.
So basically, you set up like an offensive portal with Medivh, and you just send Malfurion in, and he hits. He gets in the portal, hits R, gets back in the portal, and gets out of there.
Yeah, it's and like you can do that with any like instant pop ult, like so. Divine Storm could be an option on Uther. It's just there's a lot of ridiculousness that's going to go on in the vision he grants, in Raven form, and how many situations that's going to get him out of.
Yeah, seriously.
He's legitimately. I've been saying this since I saw his kit. He is going to be a first pick ban hero. End of discussion. You are going to pick this guy or you are going to lose.
Yeah. And the interesting thing about the polybomb that's one of his heroics is that it basically can go on forever. if the opposing team doesn't stop spreading it. So it's just really funny to see, especially when we tried against AI. It was literally them just passing it back to each other.
Well, Rexar has to walk Rexar and Misha have to walk all the way back to the fountain.
Yeah.
Because you can't micro that. And if Misha's near you when that goes off, like, you guys are stuck. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, most definitely. Charlie, any thoughts on Medivh or...
I actually have not seen or played him yet. I saw him in the movie.
Yeah, I'll refrain from my thoughts on him in the movie, but I
haven't actually. I haven't played or seen him yet, so I really don't know much of what to say other than talk around the internet water cooler is that he's very broken, very strong. So.
Yeah, and that's not to say he's just gonna go plug into any team and just wreck phase. He's gonna have to be on a coordinated team, so I think you're gonna see him at high levels really, really being effective. So it'll be something new to look out for.
Yeah, the average Joe's not going to be able to play Medivh very well, but put him on a professional team and magic it's going to happen. And like he's got several viable builds too from what I've been playing around with. Like you don't have to just like go portal talents and stuff like that. Like he has a few viable builds that are not bad in the slightest. And give him some actually pretty good versatility when you look at it. Like you go through the portal, you get a couple charges of block. You know, let's see. He's got reveal talents. He's got a quest talent to increase the damage on Arcane Rift. He's got every time he casts Arcane Explosion. Whenever he casts a Force of Will on somebody, it gets area of damage. Like there's just a whole bunch of silly stuff that it can do. You know. And oh God, I can't wait to see the professional scene get their paws on. He's gonna be like banned like every game. We're never gonna see him. I'm gonna cry.
Probably. His Raven form sounds very strong.
Yeah,
the ability to fly over any terrain is kind of awkwardly good.
No, it's absolutely amazing. Like, think about it like this. Think of all the time it takes you to go from the top of the map or go from the fountain to like the lower right tribute spawn on Cursed Hollow. Think about all that crap you've got to weave through to get there. Now think of just going in a straight line and how much quicker that's going to be.
Yeah.
So it's going to be ridiculous. It's like, and plus you body soak XP. You can't take objectives with it while you're in Raven form. You can't like hover over a Sky Temple
Right.
objective and just kind of take it like that, because that would be OP as all get out. But like what he lacks up in mobility, this is going to sound really weird. What he lacks up for in mobility, he makes up for it in parkour, I'll call it. Just because he flies over like pretty much everything.
Yeah, he does.
Sounds like he'll be pretty good on large maps with lots of obstacles like Cursed Hollow and Garden of Terror.
Yeah, that, and plus, you can't be attacked in Raven form.
Right.
So you can fly into enemy territory, like fly behind gates and, okay, nobody's here, push hard. Go over there, okay, there's 3 heroes there, careful, blah, blah, blah. Like, he ruins any surprises that an enemy team could be planning just by flying around and being a bird.
Now, when he's flying around, will he see through fog? Because I feel like
Yes.
that's a bit much. Oh, that's a bit.
It's insane.
He shouldn't be able to see in the bushes.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think
That's
he
a
can.
good question.
The short answer, no, because he has a dust of appearance.
Right.
Which dust of appearance, you can only use that while you're in Raven form. So
Okay, so probably not.
Yeah, it activates to reveal enemy heroes in the area surrounding Medivh for 10 seconds.
That's a pretty long one.
That's a huge one.
Especially against, stealth heroes.
Let me see. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. I need to look where where's Bear Guy?
So he probably is going to be good as for a lot of teams as a counter pick. Obviously, right now he's so good that everyone's saying like he's broke. So we'll probably see a nerf that'll bring him back down to
I don't think
Earth.
I don't think there's a nerf you can give this guy that doesn't negate what he can do still.
You can always increase cooldowns.
I mean, you can increase cooldowns, but that just means you plan around a little bit better. Like, it doesn't change that all of his abilities are just OP as hell.
And that's why you increase cooldowns. I mean, when Stitches was broke in the alpha, all they did was increase the hook by 2 seconds. And it made a huge difference in Stitch's effectiveness in that meta. I just caution, don't underestimate how much a larger cooldown can hurt a hero. Because downtime is time where you have to spend being on your toes and making smarter decisions with your abilities when they're up, and that can drastically affect a hero's win rate.
Yeah. Comparison for the reveal talents, Rexar's flare is only 5 seconds. So I just
What about Tacitus? Just anything with clairvoyance? How long does that reveal?
let me look up Booth.
Jimmy, what do you think about all this?
I think the vision from the Raven alone is so huge. I mean, I'm playing around with it on stream right now. I don't think he gives vision in the bushes, from what I can tell.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
Uther clairvoyance is 10 seconds, but that's at 7.
Right. Okay. So, yeah.
Okay, give you an idea of how stupid this guy is. I was chasing down a hammer on Towers of Doom. Okay, he was behind the gate. I portaled in, Arcane Rift, shielded myself, and portaled out, and took no damage.
Oh my goodness.
And you know how fast those cannons shoot behind the line.
Yeah.
Like, it prevented all that damage. And if I had taken the other talent, where I think it's 16, where it heals you for half the damage you took, while Force of Will is active, that would have been a lot of healing. That would have been a full heal right there. because I ate like 2 seconds of shots.
Yeah, so there's a talent at level 20. I'm fooling around with it a bit. Guardian of Tristfall, Arcane Rift kills minions instantly.
Oh wow.
Hey, let's try this out. This will be broken if it's true. I imagine it's not. Okay, good. I was like, it doesn't just rip through camps, does it? Does not.
My destiny.
Yeah.
All right.
Minions are listed differently than mercenaries.
That's right. That's probably partially why they did that change a little while ago. Anyways, check out Medivh if you get the chance. You can obviously go just try him in the game.
Now, is he listed as an assassin or a specialist, by the way?
He is a specialist, I believe.
Okay, that makes sense. So, yeah, I mean, he seems like a solid addition. I think I'm going to wait the obligatory 2 to 3 weeks before I buy him and see where Blizzard ends up landing on his nerfs and buffs and what.
Most definitely. But let's transition into the esports stuff. There's so much going on right now. We missed last week, so we didn't really get to talk too much about Gale Force Esports taking the second North American Championship of the summer season. As I mentioned at the top, they did beat Naventic 3-0, and it looked really good for them. They looked really strong, and Gale Force did qualify for the summer championships here, and so we are actually underway right now. The first 2 days have happened. We only have 2 teams that have gotten knocked out, and that was in Group A. Let's see who got knocked out. It was Renovacio 1 and Negative Synergy from Brazil, or no, from where's Renovacio? Southeast Asia for Renovacio, and Australia.
Australia, New Zealand, yeah.
For Negative Synergy. And MVP Black going perfect in their group. An X team taking second place there. Group B is half finished and will be completed tomorrow. My Insanity beat Please Buff Arthas in Group B, and Gale Force Esports squeaked out a win over Big Gods, and this was quite the story, as Gale Force had such a hard time with travel issues. There was a huge thread put up by Sunshine, one of their managers, about all the travel issues that happened, and basically half the team showed up about a day before the event. Michael Udall and Akaface showed up 90 minutes before their match, totally jet lagged out of their mind, and were able to pull out a 2-1 victory against Big Gods. The games were really sloppy, notably so, just because your shot caller and your support are jet lagged, so it's definitely going to be a bit sloppy, but they were able to pull it out. And so they've had a day of rest now, but now in the winners match, they're playing against My Insanity, who's probably one of the strongest up-and-coming teams out of Europe right now, and that's going to be quite the test for them. And I think that'll be really the true test to see how strong they are. I mean, yeah, they beat Naventic. I feel like Naventic really didn't have anything to play for at the North American Championship, the second one, because they already secured their spot into this event, and they were basically just playing for a couple $1,000, and they kind of were just like, whatever. Some people might think it was a bit of a throw, but I don't know. They look pretty unhappy that they lost 3-0 to Gale Force, but Gale Force looking really strong. Crowan really showing how great he is on Li Ming, and yeah, just a great showing by them, and I'm really excited and hopeful for them against My Insanity here.
You killed my throw joke. I had a joke lined up about what happened in Naventic. Like, is it considered a 3-0 if the other team doesn't really show up at all?
Oh my goodness!
They didn't.
I know it was.
Did you watch that?
No, I watched it. It was pretty bad. There were, especially game 3. It was on Cursed Hollow, and I did find out it is called Cursed Hollow, not Cursed Hollow. So I've been calling it the wrong thing all this time. But Cursed Hollow, And there was this one point where on Gale Force's side of the map, they were going for boss, and McIntyre literally just sat there and got blown up on Murden. Like, didn't move at all. I was like, what are you doing, dude? Oh,
Yeah.
man. It was bad. Like, I think it was partially tilt, though, too, because Kenma and Zuna were kind of barking at each other at the event. But, not to take, I don't want to take anything away from Gale Force because they've really come a long way in just a matter of months, basically. So they look really strong. I mean, they obviously played really well at the first North American championship of summer season. They got top 4, I believe. Yeah, because it was against it was an event taking Cloud9 there in the top 2, and they're in position, I think, to really go deep in this event. But it's a hard lineup here. The Asian teams are really, really looking good right now.
You said Kenma and Zuna were barking at each other?
Yeah.
Aren't they brothers?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, see, that doesn't count.
All right.
Brothers
That's
yell
true.
at each other all the time, especially in a competitive setting. Like, if I was playing anything competitive with my brother and he wasn't, like, doing whatever, I'd start yelling at him and he'd start yelling back. But, no, I don't really put any stock into that. But, yeah, it's been, like, I missed yesterday with day 2 because I overslept by a lot. But I watched a lot of day 1, and there was some really good heroes going on. Like, it still feels a little weird that Cloud9's not there.
It really
Or
does.
they-
It really does.
It's a little jarring because they've been such a staple of the scene. Like, the whole jokes with, they're a LAN team. They never do well online, blah, blah, blah. Well, now we can't make those jokes anymore.
No.
Now I'm sad.
Oh man, but yeah, this is the first group stage. In the second group stage, there are the top 4 teams that qualified from the other kind of feeder events into this event that are waiting for these 2 first round groups to finish. That is going to be E-Star Gaming and Naventic in Group A, and in Group B, Tempest and Team Dignitas. And I would say that I don't know. This is so hard to predict because MVP Black looked really good today, and they've looked great in their group because they haven't dropped a map yet. But the Chinese teams look kind of just hungry for a win here, and E-Star Gaming has been really strong lately, and I really think China is going to win the summer regional this time around. I think Naventic is too. They're too loose on their roles right now because they keep swapping Zuna and McIntyre from Frontline Warrior and Assassin, and I think it's a little too jarring for them. And I think their hero pool is actually a little limited compared to the Chinese scene right now. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see, and there's going to be a lot of really great heroes. Obviously tomorrow and the rest of this weekend.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to check out Tempest and Dignitas. That's going to be a huge match. That's probably the most closely, paired match of all of the early round pairings. And I mean, I don't even know where to begin to predict that.
Yeah, Tempest is like a pretty young team, but they 4-0'd MVP Black, so they obviously have an idea of what they're doing. So they're definitely ones to look out for. And yeah, this event looks really good. I really like the setup that DreamHack is doing for this. They have, at least so far, I don't know if they're going to do it differently at the actual DreamHack, but at the studios, they've had this really great setup on these kind of this coffee table and 4 commentators around it. They talk about the games, they talk about the draft, and then they have the 2 casters talking about it. So they have a lot of talent there, and it's really great to hear all these different opinions about how the drafts are going, and it's a wonderful setup, and I think DreamHack's done a really great job. There's been a lot of or not a lot of downtime, which has been really a problem with Heroes events in the past. So definitely props to the DreamHack team. The only thing I kind of am confused about with DreamHack events is they always do these like early early group matches like in the middle of the week, and it makes it difficult for those of us in the US to watch it. But other than that, it's a good event.
Yeah, and shout out to Poseidon for being one of the obs.
Oh yeah.
He's been on the show in the post game, played some random matches with us. He's a really good guy. I used to be on Gilly's stream with him, and to see him kind of in the scene a little more now is really cool. Jay Howe as well, obviously.
Yeah, definitely shout out to my boy Jay Howe.
The only thing I don't like right now is they have everyone sitting, and that drives me bonkers. And I don't know why. It's just a personal pet peeve. But I like to see people standing like at those kind of discussions. It looks, it feels more comfortable to me visually, like when they're standing. And I don't know why. It's an absolutely asinine nitpick of mine.
Yeah,
like, and I will completely admit that.
Maybe they can't afford the Apple box for Gilly though.
Oh,
Well,
God.
just give her. Well, you remember those shoes that? Oh my God!
I love you,
Remember those
Gilly.
hold on. We're riding this train home. You remember those Baby Spice? Those big old plant? Just give her some of those.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's just that Jay Howe just towers over her. It's the most silly thing.
Okay, so we
Oh
got
my
two. So we got two solutions here. One, we give Gilly the platform shoes. Or two, we just cut Jay Howe's legs off the knees.
That works as well.
Oh, doesn't that put them about the same height though? If we just like take it off, Sorry, Jay Howe.
Oh my god.
You have a dreamy voice,
Yeah.
and I fall asleep to your dulcimer tones. But
Yep. Oh man. But yeah, it was a great event. Make sure to check it out if you haven't yet. What I do like about what Blizzard is doing is they're rebroadcasting them right after the event ends. So I don't know if that's something they've done in the past.
they didn't do it today.
They didn't?
No,
I thought they
not
did.
today. Because
Okay.
I was waiting for it.
Damn. Okay. Well,
They
Hopefully they
did
do it in the
yesterday.
future.
They did day one. Like
Alright.
I hope they do it tomorrow.
hopefully they do it tomorrow for the finale of Group B. But yeah, I fully expect either E-Star or Tempest to win this thing. That's my prediction.
It's gonna be Dignitas or MVP Black. My insanity is gonna take third.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and stick with MVP Black here. I think Tempest has to prove that they can overcome the experience gap that is present between them and all the other teams. It's easy to take one when there's no expectations, but after that showing against MVP Black, well, it's not easy, but it's easier. And after that showing against MVP Black, all eyes are going to be on them. Pressure's going to be on them to continue to perform, and it's on them to see if they'll answer that call or not. So I'll still give the nod to MVP Black, but Tempest is definitely the dark horse of this tournament, and E-Star Gaming. Either one of those teams could just have a phenomenal run through this tournament and take it as well, but I'd say the smart money's on MVP Black.
Yeah, I don't discount you for that. But anyways, we are going to continue on as we have a little bit more to kind of speculate, talk about on as the patch was released today with Medivh. The Medivh Hero Spotlight trailer thing came out today. And at the end there was a little teaser, I think, for a future hero in the game. Less of a tease and more of a, hey, Gul'dan is coming to Heroes of the Storm. So quite a bit of a kind of cross promotion with the Warcraft movie, as both of them were in the movie. But Gul'dan, he's the warlock for the Horde, the Orc Warlock. What kind of, let's just speculate on what kind of toolkit he could possibly be bringing to Heroes of the Storm. What do you think Blizzard might try to do with this hero?
Well, they should probably give him some kind of form of his Hearthstone talent, the life tap.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it either sacrifice life to either gain temporary ability power or mana. That would be interesting to see. God, it's been ages since I played Warcraft. Like probably some kind of summoning and stuff like that. But like,
Yeah, I think summoning is going to be a big part of it, clearly, and we're going to see potentially something as far as heroics being one of those kind of big summons, like the oh man, all the names are like not coming to the forefront of my mind.
The Infernals,
Yeah,
the
the Infernal,
Felguards.
Felguard, stuff like that seems kind of natural. Yeah, I almost wonder. Ooh, that would be a spoiler for the movie, though, if I said that. So I'm not going to say anything about that. But I think
type
Charlie.
it in, type it in Skype,
Okay.
Well, I mean,
and
I
then
think
I'll say it out loud on accident.
there's two different kinds of Guldans, right? The Fel heavy one and the one that's was post Fel, right? Which one
Yeah.
are we getting?
I um couldn't really tell. I don't think.
So that'll be interesting to see how that plays into his kid. I mean, I don't know a lot about his lore, but I do know that basically in the beginning, before all the events of Warcraft 3, he was different from early Warcraft transitioning into from 3 to World of Warcraft. Um, so I mean, a warlock's going to be sweet. We should probably see corruption. We should see a lot of dots. We should see somebody who has the ability to transfer to self-heal himself with his trait at the cost of spending mana on it. Maybe a talent that would allow you to... I'm just curious if he'll be more summoner heavy or more spell heavy. If he can summon a different warrior... I don't know. Can he summon a succubus, a Felguard, or a Voidwalker, depending on what he decides to have as a buff for like his level 1 talent, kind of like how Charism's level 1 talents are?
Yeah, that would be interesting, actually.
You just don't really know what you're going to get because the Warlock is so open to interpretation. Could he have fear? I hope not. I don't want to lose control of my hero for 9 seconds, but hey.
Oh, WoW Arena all over again. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Please bring in Dwarf Priest for Fear Ward.
Oh no. Oh man. But yeah, that's really cool that they kind of confirmed that today. I do hope though we get a support sooner than later. I know Zex is very much on that same train as me. We definitely need another support. I know for sure that a support is coming. I just don't know who or what or when. I've just been told that there is a support by people familiar with the hero list.
That is a support. We need several more supports. I had a conversation on Twitter with a guy that you tagged me into, and me and him ended up having a really great conversation about what we thought could help, the scene in general. And like, because of the flex roles that other classes have, like Bruiser Sonya, Damage Tyrande, things like that occurring. But supports really can't do anything but support. Like, and if I'm wrong, correct me. But you can't go damage Uther. Like you could, but you're going to lose because your team's going to die around you as you're wholly shocking people.
Yeah. It's not going to go well.
No, but the support pool and I gave a number, and I actually thought about the number, but the support pool should be +5, the next largest type pool. So if Warriors is the next largest one, it should be +5 of the Warriors. That way you have enough variety within your supports to support the bands and the extra bands and stuff like that. So Like it's just kind of frustrating because the biggest way to change the meta is to add better support heroes. Because I mean, or specialists, you could say. Like Medivh isn't really. I'm surprised they classified him as a specialist, honestly, because everything he does is supporting. He's supporting their movement. He's supporting them by preventing damage. He's supporting. Yeah, he's supporting by occasionally killing a creep, but he supports with vision. Like there's nothing specialist really about it, So I don't know. I just don't know. That's why I'm not a game designer. Like I probably have bad ideas. Like someone at Blizzard is probably listening to this thing, going, "God, that guy's so stupid."
No, they are not thinking that.
But
oh my goodness.
I just.
If you are thinking that, though, go ahead and send us an email
at Zex at
BlizzPro.com.
Yeah, you can email me personally. I will respond to it, and I will tell you you're right. I know I am. I'm sorry, sir. Can I have another? But
Oh my goodness.
Like you change the meta by adding more varied supports. Like you can't play a Tassadar the same way you play Uther in terms of how you approach a game with your team as that particular support. Very face of what your team is trying to accomplish. I mean, the end goal is still kill the other team, kill the core. But getting, that's point, D is killing the core. Like how you get there with, various supports takes you different routes along that path, So, yeah. That's all I got. I ran out of steam.
Well, yeah. I guess that's going to probably do it here.
Yeah, I think so.
Throw out the old advertisements and plugs. If you want to support us at Patreon, you can go to www.patreon.blizzpro or .heroes or what is it?
Patreon.com/heroespowerhour.
Yes, there we go. /heroespowerhour. Equipment breaks, as with the case with Elena, things like that. It always helps us get if we can support anything. We do it through you supporting us, and we really appreciate it. You can also hit that subscribe button down there. $5 a month, you get access to our special icons. If you want to stay tight with Jimmy, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
And that goes to all shows across the board for BlizzPro. The wonderful shows we have on our stream. Well Met every Sunday at 10 Eastern. We have the Power Hour, of course, every Tuesday at 10 Eastern. We have the Westmarch Workshop every Wednesday at 9 Eastern. And the Payload with Jimmy as well every 10 Eastern. The hardest working man in esports, DJ Tyrant, on 2 shows and 4 streams. And so, yep.
That's probably why I got sick last week.
Probably. You just don't sleep.
Got that land plague.
Oh my god.
Land plague. And be sure you're checking out heroesofthestorm.blizzpro.com. Zex and Alebeard are constantly killing it with news articles and various ideas and strategies. Zex does builds and does now took over the. I'm actually writing for Hearthstone at the moment due to just needing some extra bodies elsewhere. And Zex and Alebeard had that. Heroes of the Storm on lockdown, so be sure to go there and check out all their content and check out everything on BlizzPro. We put a lot of great stuff out there for all Blizzard games. It's not just Heroes of the Storm, so make sure that you're checking that out.
Yeah, most definitely.
You got anything you want to plug coming up this week, DJ?
Just the typical Heroes Hype stuff coming up tomorrow night, Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific over on twitch.tv/heroes_hype. Payload, obviously, as well. And just if you're watching this live, come join us. We're going to play some games after this with our viewers, as we always do after every show. And just go ahead and hit get into Heroes of the Storm, type /join Blizz Pro, and we will see you in the Nexus. And I think that is going to close it out this week. Zex, you have anything you want to add?
Nope. I like Medivh. I like Overwatch.
There we go.
Put Medivh in Overwatch.
I could see that.
And,
Not really, but hey.
and that'll be our show. Have a good night, everyone, and we'll see you in the Nexus.